Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm Kimberly Ellis. For those of you that don't know me, and I'm sorry if you've heard this from me a million times, I was with Tucker in various positions for many years before going out on my own, starting my own social media management company. So my team and I primarily manage social media accounts for small businesses. We also do consulting, so we strategize with those businesses that keep it in-house or want to do it themselves. So I just kind of contract some marketing here and there for Tucker, fill in the gaps a little bit. Grace is on the call as well. She's on the Tucker training Zoom, and she is the social media strategist for FC Tucker. So she's your go-to, and she'll kind of be helping me if you guys have questions that you want to put in the chat. Grace, if you don't mind, just keeping an eye on that, and we can go back to those at the end. We should have plenty of time at the end to go over those. So today we're going to talk about platform optimization. We're going to focus on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Most of these strategies that we're going to talk about really can translate to most platforms with just some little tweaks. So keep that in mind. Okay, give me a second because there's a million little tabs in front of all of my talking points. Okay, so the importance of optimizing your social media in 2025. We are going to see, well, we are already seeing a lot more competition in the digital marketing space. So realtors are figuring out, okay, I have to do this. It's not going anywhere. Social media is not going anywhere. Digital marketing in general is not going anywhere. So I better figure it out. So as a lot more of realtors in general turn to these digital platforms, we have to find ways to stand out more. We have to keep up with trends, keep up with things that are changing, updates that are being made to platforms. And of course, we want to look professional online, keep everything kind of cohesive across all of our marketing. And there's honestly more consumer expectations. A lot of people are finding their realtor, but other professions in general are turning to social media because people are searching there versus Google to find someone, especially in a relationship like the realtor-client relationship. It's very personal. People want to get to know the person a little bit more, which they're able to do on social media. So they're also expecting you're going to be selling their house or looking for a home for them, that you're going to be active online and able to market their property that way, or like I said, help them find a property that way as well. And then brand recognition. So, as I mentioned, we want everything to be cohesive. Other areas that you're doing marketing, you want that to line up with your social media presence so that when someone sees your content or sees your marketing in general, they immediately know that's so and so. I know exactly what they do. That's our goal. So, we want to optimize that to kind of enhance your visibility across all those channels and you want to be the go-to expert, right? So if you are constantly talking about what you do, um, I promise you, you can't overdo it in that realm. Okay. You might think people are tired of hearing what you have to say. They're not. They don't always hear or see your content the first time. They don't remember if it's not top of mind for them. You got to keep talking about it and keep telling people what you do so that they know. And of course, lead gen and conversion. So the more optimized our platforms are, the higher engagement rates we'll see, the more reach we get, the more people see our content. So we're going to increase that likelihood of, you're putting the work in to social media. Let's make sure you're getting something out of it. So converting people that you're reaching into actual clients. Okay, so part of optimization, a big part of it really is keeping everything updated, keeping everything maintained. So part of that is posting content somewhat regularly. So for example, I always say, you can have a website that you update once every few years and it sits there and nobody really knows what you're doing if you're active. Social media, if someone goes and sees that you haven't posted to your feed since 2022, they're probably going to assume they're probably not selling anymore, right? So I'm not saying you have to post every day, but you want it to be frequent enough that people know that you are still in the business. So that's where that updating comes into play content wise. And then also accolades, things that you're doing in the community, things like that. Keep that regularly updated. You want to stay top of mind, keep those relationships going. It's virtual networking. When you look at it that way, it's a little bit easier to kind of get in the mindset of what type of content to share. So I always preach business pages. So that is some realtors fight on that a little bit because they get a lot more engagement with their personal page, which I understand it's sort of hard, particularly on Facebook, to get a business page really going, to get followers in general. So I advise people do set up that business page, be active on posting on that business page. If you have a lot of people on your personal page, just share the post immediately to your personal page. All the same people will see it, but they are able to have a landing page to go to see everything business related in one place. Um, it's free marketing. So there's no reason you shouldn't set up a business page. Creating those pages are free on both Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, you can even transfer your current personal page. If you have a personal account, you can just move it to a business account. Just a couple things change, but all of your content, all of your followers, people you're following, that all stays intact. Facebook is a little different. You have to toggle between your business page and your personal page. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it gives you both of those accounts, having business pages on those, give you additional features. So you can schedule in advance, a big one that I push for realtors because a lot of times we aren't posting because we run out of time in the day. I get it. So batching content at least a couple days at a time is huge. So using scheduling tools, third party. Metricool is one that I share a lot. They have a free version that it has like every platform you can imagine. You've got TikTok, LinkedIn, they've everything you can connect in one place. For a personal brand like yourselves, they have a free version. It's worth looking into. And then analytics on each of those platforms. If you use a third-party scheduler like Metricool, it will give you analytics, but each platform on a business account will have analytics so that you have something to look at and track and know, okay, this worked better than this. This is working, this not so much. I can create this because of how well or recreate this because of how well it did. Things like that. You want to have something to look at. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. And then business information. So, for example, Instagram in particular, when you have a business page, a business profile, you can add an address, at least city and state. You can add website links so people have a place to go, whether that's to join your email list, view your website, view the property, whatever it may be. Those are huge. And you can now have, I think it's up to 5 links on Instagram. So that's huge. And then the ability to run ads. So organic social is only going to get you so far. We always pair our organic social strategy with a paid social strategy for our clients so that you are running, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but particularly Meta is pay to play. So if you can run some low dollar ads, it will help your reach and engagement. So you can't do that from a personal page. So that's why we love business. Another reason we love business pages. And then for Meta, for Facebook, Instagram, Threads now, I believe you can connect all of those under your there's different names for it. Meta Business Profile, Meta Business Suite, whatever it is. You can connect all of those, easy cross posting, all your analytics and things in one place. So that's another reason we love that. Okay. So, gonna talk specifically about Facebook. Just some general things. Profile photo. Don't put the Tucker logo up there. Use your face. Of course, people want to see your face. People want to know you, connect with you. So always use a profile photo that shows your face. This is not necessary, but we typically audit our clients' profiles once a month for things like, do we need to update the profile photo? Like, I just want to make sure, I'm not saying you need a new brand photo, a new headshot every month, but if you have a few professional photos to cycle through to kind of keep your profile fresh, maybe a minimum of once a quarter, just look at that. Look at your cover photo, make sure that everything is current. If you do seasonal, make sure that it fits with what we're doing now. So make sure the cover photo fits also. It's a little wonky. Canva's Facebook cover photo, this is the size that Canva advises for 2025. So there should be like a pre-made Facebook cover photo in Canva if you use that, or if you use something else, just use this pixel number for your cover photo. Once you set up your business profile, if you're a new user, it may look kind of like this, where it literally just walks you through steps. It'll say like you have 4 or 6 steps to complete, something like that. Complete all of those steps to make sure that everything is set up, all the information that you could possibly have is there. You can always go back and make updates, just like edit. If you're looking at your Facebook business page, it says edit. Your bio is a big one. If you've had your Facebook page for a while, you want to go back and look at your bio because Facebook made an update where they shortened the bio, the number of characters allowed in your bio, and they didn't tell anyone. So everyone's bio just kind of cuts off after like a sentence or two. You ran out of characters, just mid-sentence, they cut you off. So go and look at that if you've had your page for a while, because you may have half a sentence. So check that. Make sure that you include keywords in your bio, like real estate, realtor, any areas that you focus on. Again, you don't have a lot of space to work with, but use what you have, use the real estate you have wisely to include keywords. Those are big in search. And make sure that when you pick your page name, you guys have some guidelines I know that you have to adhere to. And Grace, you might have a better idea of exactly where those guidelines are. So I believe you have to have, if you're on a team, that's a certain rule you have to follow. I think you have to have FC Tucker, at least try to have FC Tucker in it because there are restrictions on how long it can be. But my point here being when you create your page or if you're going to change your page name, you need to be confident in that. Make sure there's no spelling errors. Make sure it's exactly what it needs to be. They're very strict on changing your page name. You can change it, I think, once. It says once every 60 days, I believe, that you're allowed to change it. And if you're outside of that, you have to submit a ticket to Meta. You can imagine how well that goes, trying to get a hold of customer service at Meta. We've had to do this for a couple of clients, and I just want to save you that trouble. Another thing to consider is a lot of Facebook is AI now, fortunately. So you are literally arguing with a computer if you're trying to get something changed. And if it doesn't fit their parameters, sorry about you. So just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into there when you choose your name. And then analytics. So when you view your dashboard, if it looks like this on your page, that's where you'll see Facebook analytics. So for each post, you can see how well it did as far as reach goes, as far as engagement goes. Big things you want to focus on when you're looking at analytics, obviously reach and engagement are huge. Part of engagement is shares. The more people that share your content, the more people are going to see it. Likes are fun. Comments are good because more people see it that way as well. But shares is a really big analytic that Meta is focused on. If they see people are sharing this piece of content, they're going to keep pushing it out longer and pushing it out to more people because people are willing to share it with their followers. It must be good. So keep that in mind when you're looking at analytics. And then you can create a post directly on your Facebook page. You can do it from a scheduling tool. You can do it from Meta Business Suite, which is Meta's scheduling tool, or you can schedule from within it. If you use Business Suite, you can cross post between Facebook and Instagram. So that's nice. Okay, and then talk about content for your Facebook business page. We're going to talk a lot about video. I always do. I'm sorry. If you don't like being on video, I'm so sorry. But it is something we just have to get used to. You're good at talking to people, so it's not that bad if you just put someone on the other side of the camera and have a conversation with them. It's much easier. Um, Make it natural. It doesn't need to be super scripted. Just have a conversation. You can edit it later, trim out the pauses, trim out the awkwardness, and repurpose what you're doing for other platforms. So if you are a TikTok user, you can repurpose it to a reel for Facebook and Instagram, or if you're doing reels on Instagram, those can also be posted to Facebook. And they're working really well on Facebook because they are trying to push reels. So always cross post those. We're going to do another workshop on reels. I don't know what month it is. March. So next month, in a couple weeks, we're going to do Instagram stories. And then the second Wednesday of March, we'll do reels. So if that's something that you're wanting to learn, make sure mark that down. I think it's like the 12th or something. And then let's see. Oh, Facebook is more, it's a little bit different from Facebook because you could, or I'm sorry, Instagram, because you can put things like links in the captions. So links are still clickable on a Facebook post. So you can use blog posts. Tucker writes a lot of really good blog posts that you can share to your Facebook page. Post a link, put your thoughts on it in the caption, ask people to share it or comment their thoughts. Done. Okay, so in-depth articles, those could be blogs, those could be industry related from reputable sources that it's super easy to share, but I always want you to put your spin on it. So why should people care about this article and what is your take? Because people can read this regurgitated information anywhere, but they want to know what you think about it. They follow you or they trust you as their realtor because of your insights. So make sure you're always including that in your content. So longer form content on Facebook. And then interactive content. Again, we want those comments. They're hard to come by on Facebook. So the more you can include call to actions that get the audience involved, poll the audience, ask them a question, that kind of thing. You can still create events on Facebook. Don't forget about those. Even if you have an open house on Sunday, create a Facebook event for it. Invite your whole friend list. Like it will get seen on the event page. It will get shares. It pops up if other people are going to events. Like that is just free marketing for things like, I mean, it could be anything. If you're doing one of those buyer seller presentations, like group presentations, again, open houses, anything like that, no matter how mundane it may seem, make an event page for it. Okay, that is Facebook. We're gonna jump to Instagram. If we have some time at the end, if there's not a ton of questions, I can pull up my Facebook page and kind of go through the bio in more detail because Facebook is the clunkiest. It's gonna get easier from here. Instagram. I'm sorry, my Zoom window's in the way of this. So username is this field right here. So I'm using the Talk to Tucker page. Whatever you choose your username to be, that you can change. I can't remember if there's restrictions on how often you can change it, but I I recommend picking something and sticking with it just because people will get confused if you change that a lot. Once they get used to seeing your username, that's what they're come to expect. So this, they've since moved the name field. I think it's not on top of your, like this is an update that was done like a week ago. They moved the bio around and they changed the grid and all these things. So anyway, wherever it is at this point in the profile, this is the name field. FC Tucker Company. Though the big thing with those is that they are both searchable fields. So you want them both to be keyword optimized. So whatever you can do to include what people are searching for when they're looking for a realtor in your area. So real estate, realtor, Carmel, Indianapolis, however you can put that in to your username so that makes sense. You still want people to recognize that it's you. So try to have your name in this. It could be your name realtor or your name indie real estate, depending on, number of characters, that kind of thing. Play around with it, see what's available, see what looks right. But just keep in mind, keywords can go in either of these fields. The name field, you have a lot more real estate to work with. So you can put your full name and then you can put like that dash and then, um, city, state, realtor, all of the keywords. Again, make it make sense, but your name and that you're in real estate and where. Because again, people are going to the Instagram search and searching for Zionsville Realtor. Are you going to come up in that? Is it somewhere in your name, somewhere in your username that people will be able to find you? Your name field, they do have restrictions. You can change it 2 times every 14 days. But I mean, you can play around with it. Usually I say give it 30 days to see if you notice a difference. But then if you want to change it to like a different city, state, or use real estate instead of realtor, you can play around with it. See if you notice anything different with that name field. Your category, I recommend that people change their category to entrepreneur and then hide that field. So you can see here for Tucker, it's real estate company. Your profile, your bio should make it obvious that you're a realtor. So that's kind of a waste of space. The reason we do entrepreneur is for reels and stories, you can get more audio options. You don't have, for whatever reason, they unlock more audios for creators, or if you select on a business page that you are an entrepreneur. So just trust me on that. You can select it and then hide it so it doesn't show up in this bio. And then again, somewhere in your bio, you will mention, how many years you've been in real estate. Like people are going to know by looking at your page that you're in real estate. So that really isn't super necessary. And again, with a business, this is all with a business page on Instagram. You're able to put your location and contact buttons here. So that can just be email if you don't want your phone number on Instagram. I get it. But at least they have something to click and get in touch with you easily. The goal with optimizing our profiles is to make it as easy as possible for people to get in contact with us, to know what we do, to know what we're about. People are lazy. If they have to go searching for some info that they want from you, they're just not going to do it. So we have to make it right there for them to find. And they shouldn't have to dig through your profile, scroll through your account to find out where you're located. That needs to be right here. Again, you can put your office address, you can put just city and state, but as long as they have a general idea of where you are, that is super helpful. And then links, I mentioned links, these are huge. So your bio, I'll talk about in a minute here, but if you have a call to action, that is ideal. What do you want people to do when they read your bio? Do you want them to sign up for your email list? Do you want them to reach out to you to schedule a meeting? Like what action do you want them to take when they look at your profile to connect with you? And then have a link or two or three right here that gets them there quickly. Okay. So you can now have 5 links, as I mentioned. and you can swap those out as many times as you need to for whatever you have going on. So if you do things like you have a new listing and you put that new listing link directly in there, that's great. You just got to make sure you can keep up with those kinds of updates regularly, right? So keep that in mind. Your bio, you're limited to 150 characters. So you got to get a little bit creative with that. We really want to convey our value. How do we help people? What do you do to make their lives easier? Why would they use you as a realtor? What kind of sets you apart? Is there something you specialize in? Is there a group of people that this year you want to focus on in terms of, downsizing specialist or whatever that may be? I'm not saying you have to niche down like that, but just think about it. You could include, some people put sort of like resume points, and for at least maybe one or two of those, it could be how many years you've been in the business. You're a Carmel area specialist. If there's something that you want to focus on, make sure people know that. Another place, I already mentioned the call to action, so I'll skip past that. Another place that is helpful if you don't have enough bio space to put everything you want, you can pin posts to the top of your profile. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can show you I can pull up Instagram and show you, but let me just kind of give you a picture of what it looks like. When you post something to your feed, there's 3 dots. You click on next to the post, and one of the options is pinned to profile. You can have 3 pinned posts on your profile and on your reels. For your profile, I recommend people pin an introductory post. So either a brand photo, and in the caption, talk about who you are, what you specialize in, what you do, what you love, or a video is even better. If you do a quick 30-second elevator pitch or just introduce yourself and your founder story, if you will, pin that to your profile. So the first thing, no matter how much content you're posting, the first thing people see when they come to your profile is that post, and they can find out about you easily. Again, if you have a current listing, you could pin that to your profile so that it never gets bumped down on the feed. So for businesses, I have our clients set up so that the first one is here's who we are and what we do. The second one would be a video. Second one would be a graphic with like a list of services or hours of operation, something like that. And then the third one is a funny, here's our personality, get to know us kind of video, some sort of reel. So just to give you an idea of what those could look like, it could be anything for you, and you don't have to use all 3. You could just use one. But again, that is something, it's kind of a workaround for not having enough space in the bio to talk about everything. And then highlights. So as of today, highlights are underneath your bio. And these are a place to keep past stories. Instagram stories expire after 24 hours. But if you want them to live on your feed and give people a place to find those, it could be like one that I recommend for realtors is work with me. So what is it like to work with you? What does the process look like? And these could be individual stories that you post at any time. And then when they archive, you can go back and add them by clicking on these highlights. You can go back and add old stories, select the ones you want to live in this highlight. I say as of today, this is where they live because Instagram has told us that another update that's coming is that these are going to be part of your grid. So I don't have the full profile here, but there's a couple of tabs you can click through. There's like your profile tab, the Reels tab, things you've been tagged in. Another one will be added to be your highlights. I hope they change their minds because I don't like it. The purpose of highlights is to be right there, easily accessible for people. I think they'll get lost in the feed if they change that. So we're holding our breath, hoping they will go back on that. Okay, so some content for Instagram, short form video. An update that Instagram just released when they released all these other updates nobody asked for was 3-minute reels. That doesn't mean you have to post 3-minute reels. Okay, so if you have something to talk about for 3 minutes, that is awesome. If you will hold someone's attention for 3 minutes, that is impressive. We are in an age where people have a TikTok attention spans, so we need to cater to that a little bit. I'm not saying don't do 3-minute reels. I'm just saying don't let that update make you think that you need to be making 3-minute videos. We are still pushing short form video, and I'm talking short form like get a message across in 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds. If you're just doing some B-roll and some text, if you're talking, keep it under 30 seconds. Talk to camera reels are great, but we need to cut out pauses. We don't need to introduce ourselves at the beginning. Like we have to keep it short and continuous because people are scrolling. They're scrolling very fast. So how can we grab their attention in those first 3 seconds? Again, if you've come to any number of my workshops, you've heard this, but I can't not say it. When you are filming a video, talking to the camera, the instinct is to say hi. If I'm watching a video and someone starts with hi, I'm gone. We're gone. We've passed that. We're not going to listen to anything you have to say. You have to catch them with the hook right out of the gate. So instead of saying hi, my name is whatever, it doesn't have to be this dramatic, but it could be something like, you won't believe what they asked me to do. Like it has to be a verbal hook to catch their attention. Or let me give you 3 reasons why you do not want to scroll past this property. Something that jumps out at them before you introduce themselves. So, or yourself. So say that, say whatever your verbal hook is, and then you have them introduce yourself so they know who the heck is talking to them and why you're qualified to do so. Okay, so then get to your point, keep it going. Don't be discouraged. There's CapCut. You can edit within Instagram to trim out the pauses, trim out the whatever you need to do to keep that video short and concise. And then interactive story content is another thing that's really big on Instagram. I love stories. And if you are someone who puts too much pressure on yourself posting to the feed, you overthink it and just end up not posting because it feels like it needs to be perfect, right? Because it lives there forever. Then you should be in stories. Start yourself in stories, get comfortable there. They expire after 24 hours. They're more just like casual, conversational moments in your day, behind the scene into your life. It doesn't have to be overly personal or anything. It could still be very business, very professional, but it is much more laid back. You get a lot of people just live on the story feed. So some people don't even scroll their normal feed. They just watch stories, swipe through stories. So that's a great tool to use. And they have so many interactive features. So polls, and I'm talking like, do you love snow or are you ready for spring? Like, things that anyone can answer, and they work, and they get that increases your engagement. People that interact with your stories are then going to see your content that you post to your feed. It's just win-win. So polls, questions, quizzes, any of those things that people can just click a button to engage with. It's not like scary. They're not direct messaging you or anything. So that is just something I highly recommend if you are wanting to ease in to posting content, starting stories. And again, in a couple weeks here, we'll do stories. So we'll talk really in depth about how to take advantage of those, what to post exactly, that kind of thing. There was one more. Oh, I probably have this somewhere else in the presentation, but engagement, I'm really big on spending time engaging with other people on Instagram because it's the best way for them to see your content. Stories are a great place to engage. So we have tested this a million times. It is like basically fact at this point. If you engage with people's stories, you can send quick reactions. Again, it's not weird. You're just sending like clapping hands or you know, smiley face, whatever. You can send these little quick reactions. It goes to their DMs. It's a reply to their story. Um, that that interaction, that small interaction that you are direct messaging them without being weird, tells Instagram that, okay, they must be friends. So we're going to show them each other's content. So let's say you spend 10 minutes engaging in stories and doing that with people that you want to connect with, could just be anyone. And then you post something to your feed. Those people that you engage with in stories, your content is going to be up at the top of their feed. Because again, the algorithm thinks, okay, they are talking to each other in DMs, they're friends. We're going to show them their content. So it's just a way to boost. If you're going to post, you may as well make people see it and spend 10 minutes doing that so that more people see your content. And high quality imagery on Instagram. So it doesn't have to be, that doesn't necessarily mean professional photos, but at least make sure it's not blurry. It's not, it's cropped the right way. Instagram did say that they got really carried away with video. So it wouldn't be their main focus anymore. They were going to get back to their roots and still push photo and carousel posts more. What I will suggest is if you're going to post a photo, post two. It just carousel, that makes it a carousel post so that people have to swipe. Now I think you can, some accounts have the ability to do up to 20 pictures. It used to be 10. So you can do like a photo dump, or you can do those graphics where, there's different text on every graphic. Or one trend I really like is people using the same picture through every carousel post, but they're putting different words. So they're typing their message out through images. So it's visually appealing. People read it because it's right there. It's pretty. It's not all the information in the caption. And that, again, is just a little algorithm boost versus one photo for people to swipe past. If there are more than one, they could swipe past it, get back on Instagram a couple hours later. Instagram will put the second photo back on their feed and say, you didn't swipe. Did you want to see this one? And it's just more opportunities to get in front of people. So carousel posts tend to do just a little bit better than individual photos. Okay, moving on to LinkedIn. This is one platform for realtors that I would say you do not have to have a business page, because like your profile is basically a business page. It's a professional page. So, LinkedIn has those separate business pages now for like small businesses that you can create. This is one where I'd say your professional profile is enough. With Metricool, at least, I don't know about all scheduling tools. With Metricool, you can still add your personal LinkedIn profile and schedule to it. So that's a bonus. I think that's a LinkedIn thing that they just let you schedule posts to. I think LinkedIn, you can schedule directly on their platform as well to either kind of account. So again, whether it's Meta, whether it's LinkedIn, we want cohesiveness across all the marketing channels. Now, it's not going to be the same exact content, obviously, but we want the general look and feel and brand voice to be similar enough. It's not completely off brand. So yeah, the look and feel of your brand, the info you're sharing should primarily be the same. And LinkedIn, I mentioned this in the next slide, but LinkedIn is lightening up a little bit. Okay, they're trying to get some influencers on LinkedIn, some creators. So there is more like meme type content or fun stuff. It doesn't have to all just be articles or awards you've won. You can repurpose a lot of Facebook, Instagram content to LinkedIn and it will work. So your headline, this is probably the most basic stuff. Clearly state your role. So that could be residential real estate specialist helping families find their dream home in Carmel, Indiana, or whatever that may be. That's just an example. You can look up ideas for this for real estate and they'll give you lists. So just make sure you're taking advantage of that full headline. And again, if there's any rules you have to follow, with Tucker or I don't know, NAR, whoever makes the rules for you, make sure you're following those. Um, but again, use keywords, take advantage of keywords. And then your summary is more of a personal narrative. Tell your story. Explain your unique approach. So what sets you apart, and why should people work with you, apart from the typical just here's what a realtor does. Whatever your areas of expertise are, make sure you're highlighting that. And what problem do you solve for your clients? What stressor do you alleviate for them? So that when they read that, they think, okay, they aren't just speaking from a place of ego, talking about themselves. They actually care about how results in a better transaction for me or less stress for me. And great place to have a call to action. You have a lot more space to work with on the LinkedIn page, so you can talk about a lot more than Facebook and Instagram allows. So again, what do you want? Call to actions in these profiles are just huge because if you talk about yourself, keep talking about yourself, and then leave them with nothing to do, they're not going to do anything. So tell them what you want, what action you want them to take. I'm always preaching email lists because you should be growing your email list. You guys have CRMs, right? So build that list up. We discovered when TikTok shut down for 24 hours, we don't own our socials, right? They can disappear at any time. So even being in social media management, I know the importance of other areas of marketing. So how can you get these people off of social media and into your inbox or into a meeting or into your cell phone? We want to connect off of social as well. Okay. So content, as I mentioned, it's starting to lighten up. So a lot of times we will just optimize content that we're already posting to Facebook and Instagram to LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is the place where you can include links. So articles, professional articles is another good place for that. It is a good place to talk about achievements. Again, that's not all we want to talk about because we want it to be about other people too. But if of the three platforms I've mentioned, this is the place to talk about what you've achieved. So don't be shy, do that. Value and industry insights. This is where to land with all of your educational content. In comparison, Facebook and Instagram, a few years ago, I would have preached all day to provide value. Why should people follow you unless you're, giving them something? And now it is more, people don't really get on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok to learn as much unless it's bite-sized, very actionable stuff that they can do right now. You're giving them, they don't want to really learn about stuff that you can share on LinkedIn, like where are interest rates going this year? That is always my example. There's a lot of other stuff you could teach about. But keep in mind, it doesn't have to be really deep and really like over their heads type of educational content. You guys do this every day, so you think people know more than they do. Talk about the most basic stuff, like the ABCs of real estate. I mean, you could literally make that a series where you teach the most basic concepts. And people will eat that up because, again, they don't do it every day. They sell a house however many years, one time in so many years. They don't remember, they don't know. Teach them on LinkedIn, show them why you are the authority in this industry. And then market updates, of course, are great. You get those from Tucker. I mean, that is easy content. Share those. Again, give your opinion. Write your own opinion pieces on things that are happening in the market, predictions you have for 2025. People really want to know your take on everything. So give that to them. And then networking, focus content, of course, that is what LinkedIn's all about. So interactive content where you can bring not just people to your account, but bring people together in general and having a conversation in the comments, huge. So that kind of stuff blows up on LinkedIn. So you can also, it's another platform like Instagram where you can spend time engaging with other people and it really pays off. So take time to leave comments on other people's stuff and like, follow people in the feed and engage with that feed. Spend time doing that. Okay, for those of you who have Threads or if you haven't ventured to it yet, it is super easy to do so if you have Instagram, because Instagram, it's part of Meta. It is Meta's version of X. And it's already pretty much just as toxic as X. So if you like drama, Threads is good. No, I'm kidding, kind of. Threads is it's real-time conversation, which is good and bad. You can get a lot of engagement. Not everything is toxic, I swear. Not everything is negative. But what is working really well on Threads is just what's on your mind, what comes to mind, asking questions. Those are the ones, those are the threads that get set out and you can randomly go very viral on Threads without really trying. You just, if the right thought pops into your head and you put it on Threads. And of course, we want it to be professional and um, represent our business well, but very much less formal, less thought needed to be put into it. Your bio, so you can sign up for Threads through Instagram, and it's very like when you download the app and log in, you log in through Instagram. If I remember correctly, it's been so long. And it will even transfer your bio, your name, everything. You can change it. But they make it super easy to sign up. They really wanted to get a lot of signups, so they made it so you couldn't possibly mess this up and it wouldn't be hard. So if you're already on Instagram, very easy to do. Make your bio at least, again, clearly state what you do. We don't want that to be a question on any profile that we have on any platform. So at least state your professional role and your specialties, but it can be a little bit more approachable, laid back. You can talk about personal stuff that kind of makes sense to talk about. I just have this realtor as an example. He has kind of like, again, his resume type information and then directs them to something that he's selling in his bio. You can set up a free consult with him, and his links as well. So it can be as simple as that, or you can make it more laid back, more personal. And these are just a couple examples. And this is one, like, what's your favorite restaurant in DC? This is one, it doesn't have any comments, but that's something that could easily blow up. You just never know. You just have to keep putting stuff out like that. You'll get crickets at the beginning, but keep doing it and it'll be worth it. And engagement is big on Threads too, because you can easily comment on other people's threads. Just keep it all positive. That's what we're going to try to, I don't know. We just need more nice people on Threads. That's the big takeaway here. And regularly update your profile. This is one that I would do frequent updates, play with it, kind of see what works. New achievements, always add those in. Any market changes, market insights. I mean, you could put like you get sent, I don't know how often current interest rates, you could put something like that, like direct them to a link for this week's market update or market insights or interest rates for the week and have a link to that. Something, keep it more current if you're going to do this. If you're going to do this platform. So again, that just shows how active you are in the industry. Conversational posts, I kind of already mentioned all of these, but conversational posts, it's like a thought popped in my head, as long as it's appropriate, you could put it out there. Very casual. You can have images and graphics. So again, if you just want to keep it very simple and repurpose content that you're curating for Instagram, you can also post it to Threads with that image, but it's not necessary. You can just type sentences. type out your thoughts. Storytelling, this is where people come to tell a wild story. Those always get engagement. I'm not saying it has to be wild. You can tell a story about helping a client or somebody that cut you off in traffic, whatever you want to talk about, and people make it multiple threads. I don't know if that makes sense, me just saying it out loud, but you may have seen them where they'll start the story, they run out of room. The first comment is them continuing the story. Those get a lot of engagement. I don't know if it's because they're long and people go to the comments to read them, or it's because you left the first comment and that got engagement going, but it's just our observation. And then it is nice to mix in some visual content to kind of break it up if you're just going to do like sentences, type your thoughts. But again, it's not necessary. If you want to keep it simple, keep it simple. Okay. So some key takeaways, optimize your profiles. That's all. That's pretty much the summary I've been preaching. Create compelling content. And I've kind of shared how it differs for each profile, but a lot of it is you're not reinventing the wheel for each platform. So that should encourage you a little bit. You're creating concepts, you're optimizing it for each platform, whether that is as simple as the Instagram. The ideal size for an Instagram image now is 1080 by 1350. They changed the profile grid, so we don't want to use square posts anymore. This is an update that happened after I made this, but no more square posts on Instagram. Portrait 1080 by 1350. It's a size in Canva. LinkedIn, however, we want a different size. I think it's 1200 by 1200. So it could be as simple as same image, maybe tweaking the caption, maybe, and changing that graphic or image size. And tweaking the captions. Facebook, LinkedIn, you can use links. Instagram, don't put a link in your bio or in your caption on Instagram. Little tweaks like that. Engage. If you are only posting content and then logging off, it is not going to go very far. So you have to put some time into it. I'm not saying it has to be a lot of time, but if you have 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day to spend commenting on other content, other people's content, engaging with Instagram stories, commenting on LinkedIn achievements, whatever that may be. Maybe you pick a platform each day. Engage on Facebook on Mondays, Instagram Wednesdays, and LinkedIn on Fridays. You just spend 10 minutes and you will see a big difference. If you were in the last workshop, I think we sent out my engagement guide. If you weren't or you didn't get it that time, Grace, I think, has a copy of it that she can send you if you want to email Grace, or Grace, feel free to tell me if you'd rather they comment in the chat or put their email in the chat or whatever. Anyway, I have an engagement guide with checklists that go through how to spend a small amount of time, maximize that small amount of time engaging actively to see the most results with your following.
Yeah, if you just wanted to email me, that would work.
Okay, send Grace an email if you want a copy of that engagement guide. And it will, I think I have like a daily checklist and a weekly checklist where it's primarily for Instagram, but you can apply it to any. And yeah, because we don't have a lot of time. I get it. So if we have 10 minutes, how can we break that up and not just end up doom scrolling and wasting our time? Okay, so actionable steps you can take today to optimize your profiles. Review and revise them. So schedule some time this week, update your bio, update your photos if it's been a while, make sure your contact details are right and that everything is the same across all platforms. And then put this in so that once a quarter you're reviewing and optimizing what you need to optimize. Plan your content calendar. So we want to make sure we're posting at least somewhat regularly. So whatever your content calendar looks like for you, however many times you're posting. People ask me all the time what an ideal, how often should I be posting? That is really up to you and what you can handle because consistency is more important than frequency. So if I tell you for our clients, we post an average of 3 to 4 posts a week. It's typically 4 posts unless there is a holiday or a national disaster or something that is going on in the world that nobody cares about social media right now. We are posting 4 times a week. If that sounds good to you, but then after 6 weeks you fall off and you go dark for 6 weeks, that was a waste of time for those 6 weeks to be posting 4 times. If it sounds better 1 or 2 times a week, start at once a week. That's better than your page has been dark since 2022, right? Once a week, do that. You're not going to see a lot of growth with once a week. You're not going to blow up and go viral overnight, but you will stay top of mind with your current audience, your clients. You are, consistently once a week reminding people what you do, that you're here. So it is better than nothing. If you want to see a change and growth, aim for 3 times a week and see how that goes. And again, you just have to be able to stick to that consistency. Okay, and then measure and adjust. So keep checking your analytics for each platform. Pay attention to what works. It will literally list your content in order of this did the best and this did the worst. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. When someone told me when I first got started, you don't have to come up with a new piece of content every day for the rest of your life. I don't know why I didn't know that originally, but it's true. You can repurpose content that you did 6 weeks ago, 3 months ago, whatever it is, this time last year. Reword the caption, use a different graphic, or just copy and paste and do the exact same thing. No one's going to know. And there are people that didn't hear your message the first time. There are people that didn't follow you the first time you posted it. There are people who need to hear that message again. So look at all this to say, look at what worked the best and repurpose that content so that you are not having to be creative every day and come up with new content. It's too much. Okay. Grace, do we have questions that I should hit on? I guess I can pull up the chat.
We had some people wanting to kind of learn a little bit more about editing reels. So that might be good for March whenever we go over that.
Okay. Sarah, the free account for scheduling, is that what Sarah Kimball asked? What was a free account to post? Oh, you answered that. Never mind. Okay. Yes, Reels, we will do, what is the date on that? March. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
I do.
Second Wednesday in March. Yeah, so the 12th. It's easy to remember because February and March are both on the 12th. So the 12th, we will do stories. And then for Instagram. And then March, we will do Reels. And yes, Rob, CapCut came back for those who already had it. What I'm getting from people is if you already had TikTok and CapCut downloaded before the ban, it came back, but some people deleted it and you can't get it back in the App Store. So there are alternatives. There's, hold on, for video editing in particular. I can't find it now. Vixer is one. InShot is one that I believe is, I don't know if I can't say if it's free 100%, but InShot is user friendly when it comes to video editing. So if you want an alternative. Okay, let me see.
We have two questions that kind of go with each other. Best time of the day to post content and what is considered overkill or way too much in posting.
Okay. Time of day to post. So you are going to play around with it and find out when your audience is on the most. And again, this is going to be kind of like testing. But for a general rule of thumb, when are people online? So think about that. and post that time frame 10 minutes before. So Instagram specifically, well, let me say this. Metricool, once you start posting, when you're signed up for Metricool, Metricool will give you for Instagram it'll be red and for Facebook it'll be blue, and they are like darkened on the calendar. You have this calendar laid out and it will show you darker times of day. So like say at noon, it'll be really dark red. That is its recommended time. So if you want to cheat like we do for our clients, just use Metrical. It'll tell you what time to post. In general, let's think 9 to 5. People are online. It changes with the seasons because in winter, we post earlier because people are inside earlier. In the summer, we post later because people are spending more time outside and less time on their phones. So keep that in mind. And you will notice a dip in engagement with things like spring break and summer vacation. So again, 9, noon, and 3 are like our hot spots that we post. And then overkill, it's hard to say because you can post every day if that's doable for you. I wouldn't post more than once a day because you're just kind of wasting, unless you are a content creator, then by all means. But even content creators, I mean, they post every day or every other day just because reels, video editing, it takes so much more effort and they have a much longer lifespan. So if we post a reel right now at 10 a.m. and then we post another one at 5 p.m., that kind of bumps our 10 a.m. reel from our feed from our algorithm. So it may not get as much engagement and reach as it would have if we had just let it live on its own for a little bit and posted like 24 hours later. Does that help? Essentially, I wouldn't post more than once a day. And then I will repeat those. Someone asked about repeating the image sizes. Let me just put them in here. Instagram is 1080 by 1350. You can do, Facebook does not really care what you do. They have like an image size, but it's different. So it's not like the grid like on Instagram. So you can just kind of post. We usually post square to Facebook. So I'll put that size in here. But if you just post your Instagram size to Facebook, I promise you the world will not end. Okay. Okay. So those are those sizes. Did I miss anything else? Your kids are saying you post too much. Now, stories, Trish, if you do Instagram stories, I mean, those I still say do like multiple times a day because you can. I don't know. They only live for 24 hours and it's more of like a click through. People get to get a glimpse into your life. So if you want to post a lot, just stick with stories. Okay, Sarah. Can we learn to do the editing on these videos? Oh, okay. That's the one we're going to do in March, right? Is that what we said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I did not miss anything else. Oh, sorry. Grace, I just saw you put the image sizes in there. I'm just off in the little world here. Okay. I think I got all the questions. If you have anything else, don't hesitate. Email Grace. She can forward it to me. She can answer it. She knows, she knows too. I'm just here to help. So, and then again, if you want that engagement guide for Instagram, send her an email. She's got a copy of it. All right. And I would love to see you all for Instagram stories, same time on the 12th of February. So just in a couple weeks. All right. I think that's a wrap. Thank you.